Welcome to the final training tape for the 2023 season put out by the Iowa High School Athletic Association. My name is Monte Tilgner, and I'll be taking you through 14 plays from this past week's games. These were semifinal games in the Unidome, and while this will be to help all officials, this specifically is going to be geared towards those who were selected to work championship games this coming Thursday and Friday. Congratulations to all of you. And just some things to think about and keep in mind as we prepare for, what is the biggest game in the state for their respective classes. The biggest thing is, the bigger the game, the bigger we want the foul to be. So when it comes to, holding fouls and such, we want those to be big. We want them to be impactful. We want them to be at the point of attack, have an impact on the play. But when it comes to safety fouls, we want to protect our players just as much as ever. So let's take a look here at some of these plays. First one here. The question was, is this lineman at the top of the screen on the line of scrimmage, or do we have more than three in the backfield? This is an 8-man game, so they cannot have more than three in the backfield. And, this is a type of play where in a big game, we want to make sure that we have something that is a foul. And I think this is just too close to, this would be a warned situation. But I don't think this is one that we would want to flag. Now, if this player had already been warned, for, lining up close to the backfield and, the coach is notified, well, then yes. But otherwise, I think this is just a warn at best for that last player being in the backfield. My other comment is just referee mechanically. Here's our referee right here. Position-wise, the width you are away from the kicker holder is good, but the angle you have where you are, even with the holder, is not a very good angle to see the action you need to see. So position yourself 5 yards deeper than the holder on the same width, but 5 yards back here further, and you're going to have a much better look. What you're looking for is, these guys coming off the edge or anyone breaking through up the middle for a possible hold, but and also to see if that ball gets tipped by somebody who's coming in to block it. And at this angle right here, you just do not have a very good angle of that. So just something to keep in mind there. But we have a field goal here that I believe is good. They cut it off, but everything else mechanically was good. Next one here, again, when we're talking about offensive pass interference, defensive pass interference, holding, those kind of judgment calls that are not safety type fouls, we just need them to be big. And these next couple plays are just a couple that we need to do better with. And this is not defensive pass interference. Remember, we need to know our 6 categories for defensive pass interference. This doesn't fit in any of them. There's very little contact, if any contact. And I really think that the problem is right here. Mechanically, our headline judge at the top of the screen, there's no reason to move off the line of scrimmage, until the receiver in your zone, is going downfield 7 or 8 yards and continuing to go downfield. There's really no reason for you to release downfield. So this official is moving and ends up, he's still moving when he feels the foul occurs, and he's just really way too close to this foul or to this action. So let's take a look here, and then we'll take a look, and then we'll back up and discuss a little more. All right, so let's just watch that action at the top of the screen. Okay, there's just nothing. There's just nothing there. Okay, you can see the defender's playing the ball. He's barely touching the back of the player. He definitely doesn't go through his back. It's a poorly thrown ball, which does have a little something to do with it, especially if it's a borderline foul. This is not one that I think we want called, in any case. So just make them bigger. Next one, not a good time for the dreaded inadvertent whistle, but again, I think the problem is mechanics. The wing is moving and there's no need to move yet. So one thing we always talk about is don't move until you have to, and then move with a purpose. And slow down. The bigger the game, the more we need to slow down. If we slow down, you're probably never going to have an inadvertent whistle. Slowing down means you are 100% certain that that play is over, that ball's hit the ground or something. But, we just, again, this is a play where we're moving when we don't have to. I mean, we still have, a player who's 6 yards downfield and running more of a crosser now. So we're going to see this action a lot better, for a possible hook and turn or something like that. We're going to see this action a lot better if we're just standing right here where we started, at the 32-yard line, and just don't move. And we definitely need to make sure of what we got before we blow our whistle, because we've blown our whistle now. So again, the referee's starting to kill the clock after hearing the whistle. So let's go back and take a look here. What do I think happened? Probably he thought his knee was down here, but just slow down. You can see our whistle's already going up to our mouth. No reason, keep that whistle out of your mouth, because right now he starts running with this, and now all of a sudden, why are we coming out on the field? That's another thing mechanically. Okay, we don't want you to come out in the field until the play's over, and then when we're squaring off a spot. So if you think he picks this ball off and is down at that point, well, then you're still going to stay out of bounds, and you're going to, if you did feel, if his knee was down, you're going to come down here, and then you're going to square this thing off. All right, that's our proper mechanics. But we don't do that. We end up drifting onto the field. We just rush, and we have an inadvertent whistle, and it's not good. You can tell we're kind of just frozen here with that, oh shit moment, and it's one that's preventable just by slowing down. Okay, this one here is backs. Yeah, we know they can shift, okay, but we also know when they miss a snap count. And referee, remember, you're responsible for movement by the backs. This is a false start, not a shift. Even the player knows it. So watch after he moves. You can see he puts his hands up to his head like that. Dang it, what did I do? Right there. So, sorry, let me go back here. And again, let's go back and see what this defender did, because I think what we ended up having called was, darn it, sorry about that, was the defense encroachment, because we didn't call false start on this. And we don't want to make that a shift, an illegal shift. We got two guys in motion now, but he missed the snap count. He knew that he knew it. The coach knows it. Most coaches don't even say, oh, he was shifting. They know when he missed the snap count, and when he missed the snap count. So we got to get that right. But let's look at this back right. He's already made his movement here. Okay, so here's our back. Boom. There's him missing the snap count, and now our defensive player is crossing the neutral zone. So we would want to put that on the offense with that false start. Okay, this is just a really tough play to officiate. My only comment is, when we get reverse mechanics on a change of possession, we need to be going as hard as we can. We're not going to be able to keep up with these kids. They're too fast, but we need to be on our horse as much as we can to get as close to the end of that play as possible. So we got a fumble here, and we got a scoop, and we got a guy running, and you can see we've got our, now all of a sudden we got a kid come from behind who punches this ball out, and this ball goes 20 yards. Now we got guys running after it, and we've got our official here coming down, and we're not going to catch him, but just we need to be going as hard as we can to get as close as we can, because here's what happened. Video doesn't show it, but the ball was recovered by the team originally on offense, and the debate was, was he out of bounds when he first touched that ball before he recovered it, or was he in bounds? And so let's say that, obviously if he's in bounds, then it's going to be, their ball, 1st and 10, going 90 yards, right? Okay. But if he was out of bounds when he first touched that ball, then we got to think about what we got. Okay. So who was the last team in possession? Well, it was a defensive team. That ball went out of bounds. Let's say, just make it easy. Let's say the ball went out of bounds at the 10-yard line, or he touched it when he was out of bounds. Even if the ball's in bounds, but part of his body's out of bounds, touching out of bounds at the 10-yard line, then we're giving that ball to the defense, and it's going to be, 1st and goal at the 10 going in. All right. So, really tough play, and all we can do is hustle and get in the best position we can. On this one here, okay, so we got a long play here. Great hustle by our back judge again. We're not going to beat him to the goal line on a play that deep probably, but we do need to finish the play. We do need to expect anything, and this is a foul. Not only the somersault, but then he tosses the ball probably 30 feet in the air. So this is not a ticky-tack UNS. This is 100% a foul. There's a somersault. There's the ball. And the ball right now is all the way up here. Okay? So if I go back, this is not diving into the end zone because you've got someone close to you. He's crossing the goal line, and he's doing a somersault. Yeah, that right there is a foul. If you don't think that's a foul, well, that ball going that high in the air, that's for sure. Now, we're not going to make it 2. That's all one kind of continuing action, right? We're going to make it 1 UNS. But it's 2. He's, I believe, in high school, he's ejected from the game. But anyway, make that 1 foul, 1 continuing action, but it is one that we got to get. This is just a really good job by the crew on another odd play. So it is 4th down, and we know we do not have 4th down fumble rule in high school football, but if we did, this still would be a 1st down for Team A, but ends up being a touchdown. So here we got another fumble, ball bounces right up to his teammate, who picks it up and runs in for the end zone. And let's talk about this here at the end. Is this an unsportsmanlike? No, he's not taunting. Okay, he puts the ball up in the air at the 3. Now, if he would turn around and be pointing at this guy, that's different. Okay, but this would not be a UNS foul. So, good job. I love the back judge here. Just pointing at the line of scrimmage official who's coming down the field. This guy's pretty tight to the sideline, so that's when you do want to look. Okay, back judge, he's right there. So this is the guy that our H is the one who's looking at that sideline, making his inbounds. So great job by the back judge right here, pointing and getting a nod from our his headline judge, and then both going up with the touchdown. Legal recovery by K on a Pooch kick. So remember, this is a Pooch. This is not a 1. This is, he kicks it directly up into the air. This is not a 1 bounce. Remember, if we had a 1 bounce up above the, the height of those players at about 6 feet, we would be dead. But this is a Pooch, and Team R has the right to make a catch on this ball. However, nobody does. No one makes an attempt really. And now that ball has hit the ground. So once that ball hits the ground, it's a free ball for anybody, K or R. We know that K cannot advance it. If K does recover it, the ball's going to be dead at that spot. So they end up diving for it, possessing it. Really good. Let's just look at the movement by our crew here. Really good job. We've got a line of scrimmage official who started out at the goal line, He's coming up hard and making a good ruling on this. We've got our referee who's doing a good job of killing the clock as he's coming up, and play was officiated very well by the crew. Again, unsportsmanlike conduct fouls, we can't ignore them all. We want to ignore a brief, spontaneous reaction, but this is not a brief, spontaneous reaction. This guy does a backflip, all right? That is a foul. That's unsporting. Okay, that's unsportsmanlike. That's all. That's textbook. So, the referee looking at where he's at, he's in front of the guy. I kind of get why you're in front of him, but it might just be a good reminder of, they're going to take a knee, but if you've got a player here, maybe you want to be back another couple of yards so you have him in your vision. That being said, this official had to have seen it. The umpire had to have seen it. The back judge had to have seen it. Somebody saw it, and that's just got to be a flag. And if you notice your referee doesn't throw it, then you're secondary on that baby, and you gotta get a flag down. Okay, illegal blindside block after interception. Flag by our back judge. We've talked all year about the back judge being the guy who is, or the official who is responsible for seeing the wide angle of everything and getting these blindside blocks and these, these cheap shots and that. So this is a really good job by our back judge. Again, it's a change of possession play. We've got an interception, and anytime we have an interception, now all of a sudden we're going to have somebody who's going to be going the wrong way. So running the opposite direction of everyone else is a huge red flag. This guy's running towards his own end zone. You normally don't do that. So that's the guy we got to see. Our back judge, you can see, boom, he's looking right where he should be, seeing this guy, and there's our foul, easy one, and there's our flag. Great job by the back judge. Now let's talk about enforcement. This foul was at the 48-yard line, the negative 48. So we're going to go at position 5. We're going to go 15 yards back from the 48, 38, 33. We're going to have first down for team B at the 33-yard line, position 5. Great job by the back judge. Okay, we've got 12 on defense, and this one we cannot miss. In the end, we got it right. We did get a flag down eventually. A back judge, remember, you're responsible for that. And this guy kind of draws attention to himself because he's running off, then he's running on, then he's running back on. And, but another point is mechanics. We've talked about this all year. We need to get to the goal line at the snap. We have a try from the 3, or I don't know, maybe it's not a try, but we're at the 3-yard line. And at the snap, we should be going to the goal line. You can see our position, our guy come back in, back out, and there's 12 on defense. Our one line of scrimmage official does, at the top of the screen, our headline judge does get to line of scrimmage, but you can see our line judge down at the bottom, we're still standing at the 3-yard line, okay? And if this guy would catch this ball, and I know the ball's on the ground, but if he would catch it and come down, right around that goal line, we need to be at the goal line extended, so we're looking straight up that line to have the best look to decide, if we have a score or not, okay? So just remember, mechanically, we got to get to the goal line. Snap from the 5, we're both going immediately. Snap from the 10, we're drifting, but we want to beat them to the goal line. Now, we've talked about, safety fouls. We want to get those no matter how big the game is. But this one here, this is not big enough for an offensive hold to be called. And again, the bigger the game, the bigger the fouls need to be before we put a flag down. So this ends up being a 30-yard difference after we enforce this penalty. So instead of a pretty good gain here, we end up with a penalty here. So you can see, there's just not enough there. Okay, so let's focus in on this guy right here. Okay, he's blocking. Maybe he's got a grab. There's no restriction there. Okay, There's not a dip of the shoulder. His feet don't get stuck. I mean, that's not big enough. Okay, let's make them bigger. Let's make them bigger, especially in the championship game. Okay, these last two plays are both examples of the new illegal hit on a defenseless player rule. Again, this is a safety foul. This is a when in doubt, we call it. Okay, when in doubt, it is a foul. So again, to not be a foul when we have this much forcible contact, it must be, and this is word for word from the book, incidental contact when making a play on the ball, initiated with open hands and the force with those open hands, or 3, in an attempt to tackle by wrapping arms around the receiver. This is none of these. These next two are none of these. These are ones that need to be called. I mean, that's a huge hit. And in college football, that's nothing. In pros, that's nothing. But in high school football, that is a foul. New rule this year, that is a foul. Okay, that is a punishing, forcible blow, and he definitely is not initiating it with open hands. He's not wrapping up. He can make that same hit with his shoulder and wrap that guy up and take him down. That's fine. It's not what he does. Okay, so again, enforcement. We've got a completed pass that's behind the line of scrimmage by 3 yards. So since we're behind the line of scrimmage, we would enforce this 15 yards from the previous spot. And in this case, it's not an automatic first down, remember, but in this case, the penalty would result in a first down. Last one here. Again, we got to be looking out in front of these receivers. We don't need, I've talked about this, we don't need to watch this guy catch this ball. This ball's he's jumping up in the air for it. Okay, we're going to know if he catches or not. Somebody's going to see if he catches it or not. What we need to see is the attack of this player. And that, he just chucks him with like a forcible block. And that is a foul by rule. Okay, he's got to wrap up. That's the only way he can avoid that is a push with open hands or a wrap up. Now, in this case, enforcement is going to be previous spot, 15 yards, and we'll go back and see if that would result in a first down or not. But again, we've got 1, 2, 3 officials. If we go back a little bit, they all saw this. Our umpire did a great job of turning like he's supposed to help out with catch, no catch. But umpire, you can also help out with making this a foul. Back judge, you're a long ways away. You should be. That's okay. You got other players up here, but you did see this action, and we need to get a flag down. All right. So again, those of you working championship game Thursday, Friday, make the fouls scream if you're talking about offensive holding, defensive pass interference, offensive pass interference, fouls like that. But safety fouls, UNSs, UNRs, personal fouls, those we need to protect the players and they need to be called. We want them to be there, but those are when in doubt, we want a flag down. Okay. So again, the big ones that we've been missing this year is our new rule like this on illegal hit against defenseless receiver and our illegal blindside blocks. So those are the big ones we got to get this week. Mechanically, be solid. Okay, go back and have a great pregame. Discuss mechanics. Be strong in your mechanics. Slow down. Can't tell you that enough. That should be two of the biggest words you have in this game is slow down. You won't have inadvertent whistles. You won't miss things that you won't miss. Finish the play and have a great game and enjoy the environment. And congratulations again on a state championship assignment. We are looking at putting together some tapes this summer, so we will keep you in the loop on that. But again, thanks for sending in plays this year. Plays were sent in by crew chiefs, by individual officials, by coaches as well. And there were plays that I found, there were plays that other officials found. plays that Jared and Todd found and Louis found. So just thank you. I think it was we had a good year with the plays we went over, and we'll definitely be looking for input of how we can even improve in the future. So have a great rest of your season, and we'll talk to you again.